welcome back to Hacienda Homestead. Tomorrow I'm going to be subbing up at our Christian school, and so I want to get everything prepped for supper because I'm not going to be home in time to fix anything, and I thought I would just whip up something and put it in the crock pot, and then I'm going to put the crock pot in the refrigerator, and in the morning before I leave I'm just going to take it back out, plug it in, and let it cook all day while I'm gone. So what I'm making, I found a recipe for crockpot steak bites. And so that's what I'm gonna be making. Earlier today, I set out some sirloin steaks. I set out about, I think 5 or 6 packages because I am cooking for everybody. So I'm gonna have to make it in, I'm gonna divide it into 2 crock pots because this family loves steak. And I'm just gonna cut it up into bite-sized pieces. So these steaks are about maybe an inch thick. And so I'm just gonna cut them into pieces. And the recipe called for 3 pounds. So I'm doubling that. And my plan is to just come home tomorrow. These will be ready to go, and I'm just going to whip up some rice and maybe some green beans, and that's going to be supper. My husband will be home, so he can keep an eye on it and stir it if it needs anything like that. This steak is very tender. One thing that the recipe suggested was searing the steak. So I'm gonna do that. I know it's an extra step and that you don't necessarily have to, but I think it'll make good flavor later. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I have time. But first I'm just going to get all of my steak chopped up into bite-sized pieces. And this very well may be too much steak. If it is, we don't mind eating leftovers, especially the kids. That's usually what they will eat at lunch. Is I always either will prep a meal that they can eat on through the week, or just make extra at supper, and then they will eat it the next day for lunch. The recipe does say that you don't have to use sirloin steak. You can also use like a chuck roast or stew meat. But we had plenty of sirloin, so I thought, I'm gonna try it. So I have all of my meat cut up into bite-sized pieces, and now I'm going to put some oil in a skillet and get it hot, and then I'm going to sear each side of the steak bites before I add them to my crock pot. already smells wonderful. So I just want to, I'm not looking to cook them through. I just want to get them brown a little on each side. And then I'm going to add them to my crock pot. And if you're doing more than one batch, you might need to add a little bit more of your oil. And as you can see, it's not taking long at all. Okay, now I've got some beef stock here, and I'm going to add just a little bit of it into my skillet to deglaze this skillet. Because all those brown bits are packing a ton of flavor. So we just want to deglaze this. Like so. And then I'm going to pour it over our meat. I'm just going to eyeball it and do half and half. There we go. Okay, I have my 2 crock pots here, and I'm going to cut up an onion. I'm going to cut up this onion in fairly large pieces since my husband doesn't like onion. That way it'll be easy for him to pick it out. Go. Add this and this. And then it calls for some garlic. So I don't have any fresh garlic, but I have some garlic paste. So I'm just going to add some of this to it. Gonna put some salt and pepper. And then it's a cup of unsalted beef stock. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then a packet of Au Jus gravy mix. And 4 tablespoons of butter. I probably need a little bit more butter for that one. Okay, that's it. And so I'm just going to let these cool off just a tad. Then I'm going to pop them in the refrigerator overnight. And tomorrow I'm going to put them in my crock pot and let them cook all day. This morning I just grabbed our beef tips out of the refrigerator and turned the crock pot on low. And they've been cooking all day. And so let me show you what they look like. So here's what they look like. Yummy. And I just made up some white rice. And let me dish up a plate and we'll try it. So I just put some white rice on my plate and I just made sure to get plenty of juice and steak. It's really hot. It's perfect. It is so tender. It's so tender and so easy. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. And as always, if you try this recipe, let me know. I'd like to know how you like it.